Hello wonderful people of the internet, I'm Joseph Oliver. If you don't know who I am, then go subscribe to Team Drew. There's a link on the phone box. Today I'm going to be talking about BBC Three and being human. Firstly of all, I'm sure you know by now, but BBC Three is set to close, and I'm quite saddened about that. Problem is, a lot of what BBC produces is rubbish. You've got shows like Some Sex and Suspicious Parents, which is just awful. Sweat the Small Stuff, I hate that. And yeah, there's a lot of shows on BBC Three that are a bit rubbish. Having said that, there is one show that was particularly amazing, and I'm going to be talking about that today. That show is Being Human. If you've never seen Being Human before, then quick recap. It's about a wolf, a werewolf, a vampire and a ghost, and they all share a flat in Bristol / Cardiff, depending on which series you're watching. Anyway, so they take a very different view on it. The creator, Toby Whitehouse, who has also written many Doctor Who episodes, including things like School Reunion and Vampires of Venice. Toby Whitehouse, he originally designed the show to be about 3 people with disorders. We had someone with anger management problems, one person was a sex addict, and the other had anxiety disorder. And he eventually morphed that into 3 supernatural characters. The anger issues one was the werewolf, sex addict became vampire, and anxiety issues became a ghost. And we start the series off in a little flat in Bristol, and it starts off very quaint, very character based, whereas as the series builds up, you suddenly get more and more plot structure, and then it all comes together in the most amazing climax. Now, the reason I believe that Being Human is the best show BBC Three ever created, arguably the best show the BBC have ever created, is because it was A, a very original concept, and B, there's not a single bad episode of Being Human. If you haven't got the complete box set, I think it's 30 quid down HMV, definitely worth it. I got it for Christmas, and honestly, it is one of the best shows I've ever watched. But now you're probably thinking, but Joe, if so good, why is it not on anymore? Well, that is the big question. It stopped at Series 5, and in Series 4, all of the main characters, apart from one who had left in Series 3, left. So the original actors for Annie, Mitchell, George, even the actor who played Nina left off screen. So we lost all the major characters in Series 4, and that usually dooms the show. And so BBC Three decided to stop it after the 5th series. The thing about that was, though, they brought in a completely new cast for the 5th series, and I prefer them to the original Mitchell, Annie and George. Not that I didn't like Mitchell, Annie and George. Annie got a bit annoying, but that was her character. But they brought a completely new spin on the show, and they were amazing. And yeah, I'm really sad that it went away. But hey ho. So yeah, back to BBC Three. So you may remember that I was talking about how BBC Three doesn't produce any good shows anymore. Well, one of the things that they did recently produce was In the Flesh. I never really got into it, but the thing about In the Flesh was it felt like they were trying to do another supernatural show for the purposes of doing a supernatural show, so it's a bit like Being Human. That's the thing I don't understand, is why they cut Being Human and then they decided to do that. But if you've watched In the Flesh and you think I'm completely wrong, then you can be angry in the comments. So yeah, BBC Three is set to close. So my main thought about BBC Three closing is that I feel if it closes, then we, and by we I mean people who are 16 to 25, we lose a channel. We've only got 2 channels that are set up for us. There's millions of kids channels, there's millions of channels for adults, but for young people there's 2 channels, and that's E4 and BBC Three. I mean, sure, we'll watch other channels, but those are the ones aimed at us. And if we lose those, then we lose a standing point. We lose a way to voice our opinion. And it's a big shame that the BBC has decided to cut it. Now, obviously, they're at the moment holding a little questionnaire thing on whether or not you want to keep BBC Three open. Likelihood is that won't mean anything, and they'll close it. But yeah, I would urge you. I'll put a link down in the description probably. To go on that website and fill it in and say you want BBC Three, because the programming may be awful, but maybe if they did something like Being Human, brought on some original programming, then yeah, maybe we could save the BBC Three. I said the BBC Three then. It's not even a thing, is it? So yeah, those are my thoughts on BBC Three. Being Human, go buy it. It's the best series ever. Honestly, I'm thinking, like, with BBC series, there have been some brilliant ones, but Being Human is definitely up there in the top 5. I would compare it very closely to Doctor Who, because Doctor Who has had some appalling episodes down in the new series. Meanwhile, Being Human, not a single bad episode. I'm sure James from Hoodix Reviews, who's also a fan of the series, he will agree with me, not a single bad episode. And the thing about the 5th series was that they didn't advertise it at all. People barely knew about it, which was really weird in that sense. It was like they just wanted it to end. So yeah, it's feeling a bit conspiracy at the moment, but hey ho. So yeah, BBC Three is coming to an end, and my favourite show ended years ago from that. And yeah, one other thing I would like to say though is that maybe Tom was talking about bringing back Torchwood as an audio series. If you've watched Being Human, then how would you feel about a Being Human audio series? Comment down below, because that would actually be quite an interesting thing. I'm not sure how the dynamic would work. A lot of the jokes are character based and visual sight, but I don't know, maybe an audio series of Being Human would work. Maybe the BBC should do that. As for BBC Three, it's going to close unless they make more Being Human. Would be probably my follow-up. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. This is probably quite short or quite long, I don't know. I'm filming this on a camera from my media department, mainly so I can have a look at just how this works, because it's like only the 3rd time I've ever picked up a proper camera. But so yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, then go subscribe to Team Drew. We recently brought out a short film. It's called Let's Kill Reapers. Harry Williams dresses up as Hitler. Yeah. Anyway, I've been Jonah Oliver. Subscribe to Hermits United and give this a like. Also, comment down below if A, you think In the Flesh is anything like Being Human. B, if you think maybe Being Human could return as an audio series, how would that work? And yeah, that's it. Go comment those things, and I will be back on Team Drew hopefully at some time soon. We're taking a little break, well, those 3-month ones, but we'll be back. This has been Joe Oliver, this is Hermits United. Subscribe, like, all that. Goodbye!